Hello, Twitch world. Let me finish posting out the invites. Hope everybody's doing good today. Trying a new feature. I don't know. You can see it above the little webcam. Trying to do a little slideshow so I can show off different stuff I've done with your different covers. So I thought it might be a fun little thing. What is up, Inca? Oh my goodness, man. It's been a long time. How you doing, buddy? That has been far too long. I hope you're doing good and staying safe during all of this. Has it been 10 years? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm glad you showed up. Glad you showed up. We're just doing a little bit of work on my creator-owned comic here. I'd started this page on the stream last week and didn't finish that last Tuesday night, and unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to revisit during the week as I've been working on getting the Kickstarter all set up. Safe and sound. That makes me very happy to hear that, brother. I'm with you, bro. Like I've been freaking, just living it up at home. It's get a little stir crazy, sure, but got plenty to keep me busy, keep me entertained. Got plenty of books, movies, comics to read and work on. So yeah, the other than just feeling a little confined, quarantine's quarantine's been treating us okay. But thank you. I appreciate the compliment. But yeah, so I figure I'd go a little bit of the. I don't think I've talked about my rig a little bit, so I'm running Photoshop CS6. It was the last version they did before they went into Creative Cloud. So if you're using the new stuff and things look different, it's because my version's probably older than yours, but not as old as I used to be. Worked as far back as on Photoshop 3.0, and then went five. I never used four, but then went to five. 3.0 did five, 5.5, and up. But yeah, doing CS6, and hopefully we can try and wrap up most of this page tonight. Uh, so just to recap a little bit about what this page is going on. So it's a long stretch of time. This is we're talking about years. You got Creative Cloud yesterday? Nice. And back in the office at AP, I used everything from 3.0 to I think I had up to CS2 in the office, maybe even CS4, but I think CS4 was at home. But yeah, some of the Apple computers we were running Photoshop 3.0, and then uh, had a couple that were running I think Photoshop 7, and then once I had to replace that computer with the PC, I put CS2 on it, I think, and eventually got CS6 running. But yeah, those were old, slow machines. I'm glad you got a new rig, man. That's good. It makes a world of difference. It really does. Uh, but yeah, on the page we were doing a long stretch of time, so over years. So you know, each panel, different season, years later, and you see, I finally started transitioning Sasquanaut, obviously from his younger, more vibrant self, getting a little grayer, until he's going to be old man Sasquatch. It's all story related. But yeah, so I figured since I was aging him, I'd take the opportunity to change the season each season. And as you can see, as we progress and he gets older, he got a big old grin here. He's happy. Grins a little less he's not smiling anymore. He gets in winter, and now we got these weird little polyps of alienness coming in, and then as you can see, everything's a lot more alien. You know, the mountains are crumbling and then changing. So the as time goes on and he becomes more discontent, he starts seeing the world he's at for what it actually is. It's an illusion. Uh, Not to get too spoilery. So that's how that's going. So I guess I'll just proceed. As you can see, I started this one. I started the sky and everything here. And actually started implementing a little bit of purple and pink into the sky. That's to help transition into the next panel. Oh, thanks, buddy. Yeah, I mean it's a labor of love. I mean, I created this story originally. Well, heck, probably shortly after the last time I saw you. It's been about 10 years, a little more than 10 years. So I don't remember exactly when, but it was probably right about that last time you visited in the office. I gotta come find your page, man. I used to see you pop up all the time in my Facebook feed, but you know how stuff is. It changes and you don't pop up anymore. So I don't see what you're doing. Whereas I used to be, I would see your work pop up in the feed and I could watch what you're doing. And yeah, I gotta go do that. I'm glad you popped in here, man. I gotta come see what you're working on these days. I'm very, very curious. I'm assuming you're still drawing and coloring and doing all that kind of cool stuff. You're still doing what was it, a web comic, if I recall? Dude, I hear that. Yeah, the quarantine has really allowed allowed me to do a lot more work this time. Not, it just life and just, I we had a baby girl, so I've been taking care of her and doing a lot with her, and so I was very much more sporadic with my available time to work. It was basically during her naps during the day. So I slowed down progress wise. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, she's awesome. She just went down for a bed, which is very nice. She's been tormenting my wife mostly today, and since she's working from home now, she's taken up the lion's share of taking care of our daughter. So, and that's allowed me to do quite a bit more work, uh, comic wise. So I've been trying to do as much as I can. I knocked out issue 3, started up on this. I didn't get quite as far as I wanted to so far on this, just because the Kickstarter building at has been my primary focus for the last 2 weeks or so. And actually, right about an hour ago, I got the email that the campaign was approved. So that's pretty exciting because I wasn't quite ready to, or I wasn't expecting to hear from it for probably another day or two. So really glad that's done. So now I can just launch whenever, and that's pretty balling. So the goal is to launch next Tuesday, not yeah, next Tuesday, a week from today, and yeah, hopefully by the time we launch, I'm gonna keep trying to get this done. I'm also going to I'm doing it. No, my primary is Kickstarter, but I'm gonna try and build up an Indiegogo also, and just see if I can capitalize on that marketplace. The last time I did Indiegogo, it did not go well at all. But you know, maybe the second time, and if it doesn't go well, I just get a couple bucks. It's a couple bucks more than I had to get all this stuff made. So why not? There's no reason to not do it. I don't. There's no reason not to do it. So we're gonna try it. But man, I'd appreciate anything and everything. I know I'm assuming you're still overseas. Uh, you moved out of Ireland, didn't you? Where'd you go? Did you go to vaguely remember, Spain? Maybe. to the UK. Okay, 2K. Nice. Well, I'm gonna tell you, as you know, international shipping is a beast. Not really anything I can do about that. But I got digital comics available too, so you can save on that shipping. But hey, spend your money how you want to spend it. That's what I say. All right. So again, we're trying to see. I made notes. I made notes here just for myself because everything was different seasons, and I didn't want to forget. And see, I wrote sunset, autumn, winter slash alien, alien. So with the winter, I want to keep it fairly cool, but I don't want to go full blue because you can go blue. I'm not really getting in the snow and stuff like that, so I'm gonna keep it more gray and toned down. Uh, so okay, I'm really glad you're here, Inca man. It's been far too long, buddy. See, I got to put on a good show for you, bro, because I really wasn't feeling it tonight. It's been a long day, stressful day, stressful week. It's been an exhausting week, so I wasn't really feeling it on the stream. But my boy Inca showed up, so I got to put on a show for you. Oh yeah, see, you're streaming now too. I'm only just now getting into it. I've been slow to adapt. It's a resistant, I guess. This old dog didn't want to learn any new tricks when it comes to this stuff, but doing all this stuff on my own, trying to foray out and self-publish and all that. It's the way of the world now. I got to get with the times, so I can't play crotchety old man. I gotta learn. So, but it's also been good. I've learning all this stuff is has been really interesting. I mean, it's definitely new and it's pretty intimidating. I ain't gonna lie. That's a big reason I didn't want to want to do all this because I was intimidated. But some of this is pretty idiot proof, I guess, because this Twitch studio a lot easier than OBS. I got into OBS a little bit trying to uh record my coloring like I'm doing here for my Patreon, and it took a while. It was a pretty steep learning curve, and well, and that messed up now. So my recording isn't even happening with that, which is kind of annoying. But I guess this is taking the place of that. So yeah, man, the Twitch studio. I mean, I was literally up and streaming in like 10 minutes or less. In OBS, I probably spent a day just looking at different YouTube videos trying to figure out how to even set it up to do it. And then I used different YouTube videos to try and set it up differently so I could live stream through Patreon because that's doable. I found out it's really complicated too, and it messed up my settings for my recording my videos. So it's just like, but I also see now that Twitch records, so I might just be doing it through here in the future too, and then speed it up elsewhere if I need to. So yeah, it's been an interesting learning curve. Like I just put together that little slideshow on the side there today. You know, that'll probably run for a while. It's on a loop. It should keep running, but yeah, just constantly trying to look see if I can make this a little better, a little more interesting. So we're gonna turn on a little bit of background music, hopefully. I don't even hear it. Oh, there it is. Switch that. It's not my favorite music ever, but it's what's available in the Twitch library that I won't get in trouble for. You know, I don't want to go to Twitch jail. I started building out the Indiegogo campaign page today, and I'm just gonna use my Kickstarter video, but you know, I have to link from YouTube to Indiegogo, whereas they don't just post it. Stream beats on Spotify as well as ooh, I'm gonna have to look into that. I gotta pull out my notepad, bro, and write that down. See, bro, you're making tonight just totally worth it. I said I wasn't feeling it, and now you're like, here's different music. I like that. I like that a lot. I forgot what I was talking about. Well, I'd say it's great to hear your voice, but you know, I'm just imagining the Lucky Charms action when I read your texts. Nice. Yeah, man. Except, but since I know that I'm on camera, I'm gonna talk more than in the office. I gotta pretend I'm entertaining people, or hope I'm entertaining people. Whoever ends up showing up or watching it later. Oh yeah, Indigo. Thank you, man. This is already the best stream ever so far that I've had. Thanks, Ika. But yeah, so I have to link YouTube. I have to put my Kickstarter video on YouTube to put it on Indiegogo. Whereas on Kickstarter, I just host it, I just load it up through my page, which is really, really convenient. Well, the music I use in that, I have licensed. I had a membership to the Envato marketplace for a couple months last year. It had like this ridiculous deal for, you know, nothing. So I was like, man, I downloaded a bunch of music that I could just use and resources. I was like, oh, I'll make some videos and Kickstarter, like this will be great. Well, and I put that video on Kickstarter or on YouTube. It's you know, unlisted. It's there, but it's unlisted because I don't want it to reveal yet. But there's a copyright claim on it because they got all their bots and stuff in it. You know, I can still play it, still show it. You know, but it's weird the fact that there's a copyright claim because like the dude that composed the music, he is on Kickstarter, you know, or YouTube, not Kickstarter. He is on YouTube, and he didn't put the claim out. Like I just loaded it, just algorithms or computer based. I don't know how they found it, but yeah, there's some kind of thing. Even though I technically have the license for it because I got it through the Envato marketplace that I was a member of. And, you know, it's all copacetic, but it's just weird that there is that, and that kind of bothers me a little bit. I don't want to, you know, I'm not trying to take nothing from nobody. Just, I don't know. The computer overlords. Not my favorite people. Forgive me, computer overlords, if you're listening. Oh man. See, this is one of the choices that I don't quite agree with. Is my flatter that did it he ended up just creating a ridge in here, and I would have just gone straight down, so they're individual spindles, and now it's just kind of a pain. So I may just try and cheat this a little bit because I don't want to go back and redo it. We're just gonna get some of this background color. We'll call it atmospherics and move on.
Let's be real.
So what are you working on these days, Inca?
With the stories of hip hop's craziest parties, nastiest.
If you got your stuff online, dude, post a link. Hopefully people will go check it out. Whoever comes in and checks it out later. If anybody watches these, they can come check you out. Maybe throw some ducats your way.
The Mogul Mixtape.
Shadows and Blood, nice.
Every Wednesday. Tap now to listen for free on Spotify.
This is hip hop to me.
Verizon brings you Pay It Forward Live.
Hey bro, this is a self promo channel. I mean, it's the only reason I'm this is gotta promo stuff. So you know, whether it's working on Sasquanaut or coloring, so I figure if you're gonna come hang with me, you want to promo some stuff for yourself, why not, man?
Did you know that Spotify is
We're all out here trying to make a living, so
now you can ask
I
your
ain't gonna
favorite little
begrudge it.
speaker to turn itself into a big old dance party just by using your voice. It's like having a personal DJ on call. Ask Google to play your favorite playlist, give some love to your favorite new song, and turn up the volume of your favorite podcast. Tap the banner to get started with Google Home.
Oh, you got it up on Webtoons? That's great, dude. I haven't looked a lot into Webtoons. I saw them at what was it? Comic Palooza last year. And that looked pretty interesting, man. And a buddy of mine, Bill, is actually rejiggering his comic, his standard comic that's selling really well. He's actually going in and breaking it apart and reformatting it so he can release it on Webtoons, and I thought that was pretty interesting. I might have to look into that in the future. Yeah, nice and easy. No, I like easy. Yeah. No, that's good. I don't. So does it go like a panel at a time? It's like you're releasing to like build up pages, or how's it work? Is it more like the guided view, like on Comixology or something? Yeah, I can't. I don't know why people want to read on phones, man. That's crazy to me. Tablets I can get. More like a strip of film. So like multiple panels side by side or down. Okay. So like maybe more square version of these panels would be better, or vertical panels as opposed to horizontal, I'm guessing. Or I guess if you do all horizontal, you could turn the phone horizontal, right? Interesting. Good to know. Yeah, I don't know if what I got going on with this series would work well in that format, but it's definitely something I should keep in mind for maybe future projects. Like the follow-up project after this one, uh, it's already in development. It's still like comic book format, but we're not going to release in multiple issues. It's just going to be a done in one graphic novel. So full complete story. You know, I'm personally leaning away from doing any of the after Sasquanaut's done. I'm leaning away from doing any of the serialized multi-issue format stories. I don't mind creating my graphic novel format, so had the full story done in one complete volume, you know, anywhere from 40 to like 80 pages or so, and then maybe design it so it can be broken up into individual issues. Say if it was to go be released under traditional comic market, you know, after like Kickstarter and stuff like that, you know, I'll make my graphic novel, and then like, oh hey, you want to try a traditional release? Like go back to Anarch Press or something like that, and have them potentially release it, you know, traditionally. But I've got another project that I'm still in the planning and story phase of it. I'm actually not scrapping it, but rejiggering it kind of from the ground up before I get involved to get it moving forward again. And that might be something I really need to plan for, to work in the Webtoons format more. Not even just to release it in Webtoons, but potentially release it in Webtoons and to I think the story itself would actually really lend itself to read in that format. Lots of tech and stuff in it. So I like this. I like this. I have to think about it some more. Yeah. No, absolutely. The funny thing is I'm a huge proponent for digital comics. I'm not a fan of digital comics. Like, I've got a bunch of PDFs and stuff, but I don't read a lot of comics digitally. But I think for the sake of the actual marketplace and the medium, and have it grow, that's the only way to get it to grow. It really is. I mean, you have access to everybody in the world, or you have access to where you can drive or fly and sell at cons, or with Diamond, you know, and just the North America and maybe the UK, and that's about it. Which, you know, there's a lot of people there, but the markets are tiny, whereas, you know, digital is fairly unlimited. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I offer digital tiers for digital options for everything I do, because that's the funny thing, because as a, you know, comic book colorist and stuff, you know, I can do more on the computer that you can see on the screen, because you can zoom in, you have colors that will never print. You could do more, and probably do more visually interesting stuff that could be enjoyed better on tablets, on phones, on computer screens. And even as somebody that's in that, I don't particularly want to read that way or experience that way. You know, there's just nothing like it, man. I just freaking love having my books. I got plenty of books here I still need to read that are just sitting on the shelf that I haven't read yet. But I'm also trying to thin it out a little bit too. My baby likes books. Not in a good way. She likes to destroy them. So I need to keep going through my office and probably put the less important stuff low and the more important stuff high, so she doesn't get it. Yeah, she's really good though, but she does like books, which is really cool, even at her young age. I like it. So I want to go back to coloring these. Okay. So I've been thinking what I'm probably going to do is, he's on this forest throne. I'm probably going to try and keep it looking fairly the same, even though I'm planning on getting pretty wild and hopefully with the colors and just making it looking really alien. I think I want to maintain a bit of consistency in this forest throne, just to keep it constant, because everything's changing so much. Like everything, him, the background. I think keeping that consistent will help ground the reader. Like, yes, this is the same, even though everything's changing. This is the same, and I think that'll help the reader because part of what we're doing as coloring is telling the story and helping reinforce the story. So when everything's wild and shifting and changing, having the constant will help ground the reader into hopefully not getting lost, but I mean, it could be like, hey, my story just got a little too out there and isn't able to be followed. I hope it is. I think it is, but that tends to be the way for the guy that made it. See, when I do this, am I layering a pattern brush over that? Yeah, man, I've got. Yeah, let me. So you saw my flat, right? My flat, my base colors. So I got all kinds of texture brushes and presets that I've built or acquired over the years from any number of sources. I've got brushes, but I use my tool presets more than my brushes because I can swap out brushes. Like right now, this is a new acquisition. These brushes here, I call them the God rays. That's you see the streaks of light. Oops. You see the streaks of light. Those are the God rays, and I actually recently just found these brushes as a free download. I'm like, oh, let me play with these. Like, oh, these are so awesome. I don't have to draw with my lasso tool and brush and erase and layer and like, oh, it's so much easier. It's awesome. I love it. I got this like right before I started this issue, so. But I have a standard brush palette, but it's ridiculous. It's way too big, and the bigger my brush palette, the slower everything goes. And this one's nice and small, so I haven't replaced it yet because I keep using it in this issue. And most of my brushes I use are in my preset anyway. So yeah, I've got various texture brushes that I do. I'm just kind of breaking up the uniformness, because being natural, I don't want it to be all straight lines. And with this hard selection style, there's a lot of straight and sharp edges. So this is just to break it. But when I do these pages, I've already gone in through the entire issue and drawn out the selections. I put those on a layer. I drew all the selections for my primary and secondary lighting. Uh, I can actually show you on the page that doesn't have colors yet, just so it's be a little clearer. Of course, this is the page of Vomit Flats, but so basic page, right? Like I established all my lighting, and I only do it this way when I color in this hard selection style. Like coloring in this hard selection style, it's easier for me to figure out my lighting and process it if I do take it step by step, as
Hello,
opposed to
this is
trying
Chris
to
Ryan. I'm an editor at the Ringer
draw my
Podcast.
selections for figure out my lighting plus my color. It doesn't quite work mentally for me. It's like one step too far. So if I just disregard the actual color choices, just pick some high contrast color. I mean, I think there's two colors here. You know, there's a green for secondary, and there's this yellow as highlight, and it's just set on screen on that layer. So that way, I can just establish my light sources, and so when I come back into coloring, I can then concentrate on specifically the actual color choices and effects, as opposed to trying to get my lighting right. I may tweak my selections, but the hard part in my book is, or the hard part's done for me, because you know the actual color choices part is fun for me. I like that. That's the interesting bit. The actual determining the specific selections, that's not so much fun for me. So, and then let's see, I've got my selected area, and I'm only going to operate on my highlights. You know, I'll just come in and bring them in. Yeah, and I'm going to use another texture brush. Bump up my opacity there. Probably bring in a little bit more yellow. It's not a super duper texture brush, but it has a little bit of variation in it, and that's good. Yeah, I think this will work. I mean, absolutely. This is a pretty solid amalgam of what we always called anime style at AP and kind of traditional cut and grad. You know, it's all based upon that anime style. You know, that foundation, because that's all about specific selection and anatomy and just getting it just right. So it's that, and then turning it around and use like, so I mean, you can see, I mean, he's all like one or two colors. Like I put a little bit of work here and there. You know, he's got a bit more shadow here, but I mean, these selections are just gradients. You know, they're not even, so I mean, they're like radial grads. You know, except that those are flats. I mean, this is essentially what you're doing. Just I got some textures and a bit more gradients, you know. And being that he's a hairy dude, there's a lot more elaborate selections in him. I regret making him so hairy, or at least I regret having him be shirtless and covered in hair, because hair is freaking annoying. It's time consuming. The spacesuit is a lot easier to color. But see, so his green for this throne, you know, I think it's a little too green. I'm gonna brighten it a little bit too and desaturate it a little bit. Black suit, so it's just solid black, bro. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Like, I knew when I wrote this issue, it was going to be probably one of, if not the most visually challenging issues for me to color, which both terrified me and excited me because, you know, if it works, it'll look really, really cool and be like, dang, that's awesome, you know, and that's gonna be a you know, prideful moment. Hey, all right. But if it doesn't work, then I can go in and be like, oh, it's just so hard. But you know, I wrote it, so it's my fault too. Anyway, so even if it doesn't work, I can't blame the writer. Be like, oh, well, you wrote this thing and it was just blah blah. It's my fault because I wrote it. Pardon me a second. I'm gonna just get a drink here. Yep, a little bit of extra highlights to give them a little thing. The other thing I've been doing with these is to help break it up a little more. I'm selecting specific vines or elements of the vines that I am then shifting the colors a bit just to again break up the uniform nature of it. Yeah. But I tell you what, man, like, I knew it'd be hard to draw too, but Gabe, who drew this, just, he killed it, man. He knocked it out the park. You have no idea how crazy happy I was when I got this issue, and I was like, it worked! It worked! That was a good day. That was a good day. Ooh, too much. See, it's not a lot, but we're just kind of breaking up the monochromatic green. Going to also go in and just kind of loosely brush in a little bit more shape. Give the little vines a little bit more volume. I mean, I could leave it as is. I really could, but you know, like I said, I threw the gauntlet down for myself, so I kind of want to make sure I rise to the challenge. Going. Again, I'm just gonna breaking up a bit of my selection already. Get a little more fill. A little fill light, a little bit. But yeah, so I think I can call this throwing in that panel done. Yeah, just a little bit, you know. It doesn't need a whole lot because the lines are doing a lot of the work. I mean, Gabe knocked it out the park, man. So I don't want to bury his stuff too much, you know. That would be cruel. But something else I can do here. Is that cool? Wanna again, since we're starting to get into a little more of the alien aspect of the world, or of the reality, I guess. I'm gonna put in a bit of this atmosphere. Like I already got in the background this pink and purple that you saw. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of that into the rest of this, and just kind of it'll one help sell the alien aspect creeping in, but it also helps push the background away and helps separate the planes between foreground, middle ground, and background. So you can just kind of a cloud brush, just a little bit of dust, probably a little much, so I'm gonna just take it. See, there's tree. Do that. That's your tree. I thought that was his arm in the black and white. Okay, redo this one. Now again, I don't want much because it's, you know, it's primarily still Earth for him, but it's starting to get a little funky. But again, just like in the previous panel where it had that extra pop of light in the corner, I'm gonna do that with the smoke. Just a little bit of green or pink, green, a little bit of pink over that green, just to kind of help pull it all together. You know, so this is part of that type of thing. But again, I've already got my selections here, so that's a radial grad to transparency. Just kind of, but again, he's getting older, so while this was pretty warm, you know, I use that same color. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of tone it down a touch. You know, he's not so hot, not so fiery in his color. And a little bit of, oh, that's not radial. It would be why. You know, and that works. I mean, were it just straight, you know, anime style, it would just be, I mean, there's not that much difference. Just a little bit. Gets a little bit more fall off. You know, I could be a little more precise in my fall off here. Like, I can just have his, and this would just make his arm push a little forward. Yeah, boom. Gets him a little more hot in his arm, a little brighter. I think this is probably the only panel I didn't worry about doing a secondary in, but now that I've introduced this pink, I'll probably go in and add a secondary on him. Catch up with you, flicker. Yeah, I've been And I decided a while back, most of the time, his teeth and eyes are probably just going to be solid white. Well, thank you. I don't know. I just try to do what looks good. You know, I have the basics for color theory, you know, that I think most everybody learns, but the rest of it's just kind of come from one, looking at other people that do it better than I do, and just trial and error. What up, Jay Brock? How you doing, buddy? Jay Brock, meet my boy Inca. Inca, meet my boy Jay Brock. That's good to hear. You listen to the Bee Gees while you staying alive, or what? I'd play the Bee Gees for you, but I think I'd get in Twitter jail or Twitch jail. Playing games, being young. Well, alright then. That's good. I'm going to... this. Yeah, now I'm just casting a little bit more shadow. Just cause. Gives him a little more shape. It's nothing too crazy. Now, like I said, I'm going to come in here and add in the secondary that I didn't do initially. But I hadn't thought of this little pink bit. I actually just thought this will be my easiest panel, but I like how this panel's coming out, so I don't want to chintz on it. Dude, I just realized, Inca, it's got to be pretty late for you, isn't it? Push me down to the ground. What goes around 3 a.m. Man, I used to do that. I used to. Now I get tired at like freaking 9:30. I never thought I'd be one to like go to bed before midnight. But, you know, the kid will suck it out of you. You just, even when she goes and stays with her grandparents, man, it's just, you're so tired by the end of the day from all the other days. You just want to go to bed. I hear that, bro. I'm definitely glad you dropped in, and now that I've got the Kickstarter pretty much together, most of the Indiegogo is going to be copy and paste, so I'm hoping I can get that done in the next day or two. So I should be able to go back to doing some more streams during the day, because I'm really anxious to get back to coloring this. I wanted to be farther than I am right now. So should be hopefully now that I see you're following, I appreciate that. Hopefully you'll be able to catch some of the daytime streams, so you won't have to stay up till 3 a.m.
Let's be real. It's the perfect time to go back in
Yeah,
time.
absolutely, man.
Start
I'm really
seeing
glad you
people's craziest
jumped in
parties,
here.
nastiest beefs,
That was a real
flyest
nice
fashions,
surprise.
and best verses.
Like that's an all-time
Wow.
All right, we're gonna call
underrated,
that panel done,
unbelievable
just
beat.
cause.
And maybe I'm a sick man, but that is
This
the
one
part
bit's
of the game
bothering
that
me.
I love. It's like chef's kiss.
Coming at you from Mogul, the Mogul Mixtapes. Catch new episodes every Wednesday. Tap now to listen for free on Spotify.
Has it been
This
that long?
is hip hop to me.
Dude, wow.
Thanks for listening to Spotify. No, really.
You're
You could have listened
33.
to the radio.
Man, I was young
You could
too.
have spun some vinyl. You could have played a cassette tape. You could have listened to an 8-track tape.
It does,
If you
man.
knew what an 8-track tape looked like.
Just a.
But you listened to Spotify. Thanks for that. And you still
That's gonna
have
separate
hundreds
that.
more playlists to enjoy.
We'll separate these two a little more. It's just a little too similar. It's bothering me.
What's even better than having millions of songs at your fingertips for free? Getting thousands of the world's most loved podcasts in your earbuds too. On Spotify, you can listen to shows from the worlds of comedy, politics, entertainment.
All right, so I'm going
sports,
Alien World.
business,
You
pets,
guys tell
and the
me,
business
what do you
of
want to
kids who love
see?
sports. Just
What
about
kind of
anything your
color
heart
sky do you
desires.
want to see for the
Whatever
Alien
your
World?
niche, Spotify has a podcast for you. Tap the banner to check out what's streaming right now.
Everybody can chime in. It's not up to any one person. We'll take a vote. Yellow. Interesting. Interesting. See, I did a series for Aspen called Portal Bound that was in an alternate dimension or alien world or whatever. And I like some of what I did with that, but I don't want to copy it though, because I already did it. And that one I did, I think it was green skies, so yellow might be interesting. Yellow could be an interesting one. Yeah, dude. Yeah, we can totally get yellow skies, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Especially if I do something like maybe a purple cloud or something.
Unless you slept the night in my nest, you shouldn't waste your breath to criticize my mess. I love you like a brother, even though I'm not your brother.
And I'm not going to use his clouds. I want to try this brush here again.
I love you like a sister, even though you're not my sister. We all got a few
Well, let's see what I do. So I'm going to put that on a layer.
Used to be rock, but now it's roll. Looking at the clock and the remote control.
Definitely not that purple.
Contracts till you all alone. I put that on the people you've outgrown. And maybe it was all for show, but it was so convincing that the ground got cold. I guess anything's possible. Under a spotlight, we all got a note to hold. It goes, don't throw no stones if you're living in a fishbowl. Blow a kiss though, where the aim is based on which way the wind floats. And pride is a bottle on a fence post. I keep the shoes laced up in case the people I love come to shoot the place up. I know we ain't cut from the same cloth, but a lot of those fights were just to say we fought. The mother turns, life is fragile. The struggle burns from inside of the candle.
I like that color. I don't like those clouds. I know I've got some different cloud brushes somewhere. Weather brushes. I don't know if I've. Oh no.
Let's get a round of applause for all of y'all. I love you like a brother, even though I'm not your brother. We all got a few flaws, but let's try not to get too lost in the applause. I love you like a sister, even though you're not my sister. We all got a few flaws, but let's try not to get too lost.
I really need to go through and sort through all these stinking different brushes I have. Maybe I'll do that one of these days. We'll move on for now, just because I can get lost looking at it for trying to get the exact sky, and but we can temporarily do we'll have our placeholder in. How about that? Go back to wasn't supposed to be. Come on, here we go. I do like that color cloud though. I can build something off that. I just want to put that in there just so I don't have to search for that color later. Or at least build on it. A little more until with it. Probably a little better. Yeah. Well, it's not even that I'm disorganized. Like I've got everything there, but I've acquired so much and kind of just pieced out little bits of it here and there. I need to go through. I need to go through it again and redo it because there's new stuff I haven't like pieced together. That's like my big brush list. I need to thin it out and put more stuff that I'll use more often from some of these other stuff. But that just takes time because it'll take. I don't remember what they all are, or what they all do, so I'll have to go in and have a file and just sample a brush and like, do I want that? Yay, nay, and cut and remove. It's a lot of work. You know, in the long run, it'll be really, really good, but it'll just be really time consuming and not terribly fun. Which is why I haven't done it yet. Yeah. All right, buddy. It's been really good seeing or talking to you, Inca. Glad you dropped in. Take care of yourself. Thank you. J Brock, you still hiding over there? Yeah, man. I look forward to seeing you on another stream too. Take care, buddy. Time is it? challenge with doing alien stuff is you want it to look different than what we're used to and what we typically see, but not so different that when you look at it you kind of are reviled or just want to turn it like, no, that doesn't look like. Color will play a big choice. Like, well, obviously color plays a big choice, and that's stupid. But you know, where I think building upon what I did, you know, because these are fairly kind of steely gray, blue mountains, and then thank you. That was Inca's idea. I was thinking something else, but I figured let me go with him, and I like it too. I want to do different clouds though. But moving in from the steely gray blue, I think we get a more blue, even greenish, because the sky hitting the blue, you can get kind of like a different, more green into it, but not, I don't want to do like the same green I've been doing here on the plants. You still want to look alien, so I'm going to go this little more intense blue-green and a electric color. Oops. See, to be a little more precise here. So just hit my selection tool and limit where I'm going. Use this lighter green, some highlights, make some edges. Bob Ross it up a little bit. You see, I'm not doing a lot down here. That's gonna get kind of hazed out. So, you know, towards the horizon. So I just don't want to put a lot of detail down. I think again to help sell this transition, try it first. That's why I'm putting it on here. I'm gonna repeat from the previous panel. Too many P's, it's hard for me to speak. Just gonna have this haze be pink. So, you know, it ties in with this previous panel. It's not super intense. Just there. You know, it's not affecting the lines yet. So I have that selected. Black. Yeah, nothing bad. It actually reminds me of some like old He-Man cartoon or Thundar or something. Just a kind of radioactive green mountains, yellow sky. It just seems very, very much part of those cartoons. It's been interesting. We've actually been watching old Looney Tunes cartoons with my daughter recently. I've really kind of been paying attention to how they look visually and the stuff they've been doing.
No matter how big or small your business is,
And I tell you what,
making
there's
your
a
own
few of
ad
those
on
cartoons that
Spotify Ad
are
Studio is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
wildly
1.
abstract and
Let us
just
know what you want
what
your
they
ad to say
do
and pick out your music. We'll
and
voice
what
and
they get
produce it
away
at
with
no extra cost.
visually with
2.
the backgrounds
Reach Spotify listeners based
is
on their interests,
dumbfounding. Like,
demographics, music tastes, and more.
one, I never would have thought
3.
about some of the
Set your
choices
budget,
they make,
set your
but
dates,
two, I
and
don't think
you're
I'd have
done.
the balls to
Try
even
it
try
today
it.
at adstudio.spotify.com or tap the banner to learn more.
It's just appreciating them on a whole different level these days. They're still funny as all get out, so that's great too. Man, I'm tired. You know what? I think I'm gonna call it for this stream. I'm bushed. It's been a hard couple weeks. So, but I'm gonna get this done soon. I wish I was done tonight, but oh well. It's looking pretty good. I like this page quite a bit. Guess that'll be it for tonight. Hope you guys had fun. I had a good time. Thanks for Inca hanging out. Thanks for Nissa. Thanks for J Rock showing up. Whoever else is lurking in the background. What's up? How you doing? All right. Peace out, kids.